He's very Netherlordy.
He is. I really cannot wait till I get his alternative color. Because I love how the red looks on him. But
whatever will we do with a boy without white pants to look at their mountain?
I know, I don't like. Part of me was like, now I don't know how I feel about them not being in the white, especially with the yin and yang reference in the myth. I was like, of all the myths, this is the one. This is the one where
to be
black and white
fair,
makes sense.
MC would be the one wearing the
Fair,
white.
fair, absolutely. Absolutely. That
He's
is a
just trying
fair
to look
point.
handsome.
Look, he is doing his best. Oh, he is doing his best. And can I say, by the way, playing through Raphael's free memory with my mom in the condo was a moment in time. Honey, what you
Wow.
doing? Nothing.
Did you have the audio on? Were you like giggle? Do I even want to know how that went?
My headphones on, but I was absolutely giggling my way through it. Mom just kept looking over like,
sure. And you
are
weren't doing
good?
the my giggle of hee hee. You were doing the weren't you?
I might have been.
Yeah. Yup.
It might have been less of a giggle and more of a horny, embarrassed laugh. I don't know. I don't know how you describe it.
Just poking a man who's in heat, Mom. Everything's fine.
Everything's cool. The best bit is I was giggling and she goes, "Are those your Discord friends?"
No, ma'am. Nope.
It's like, okay, that's precious. Thank you. Thank you,
That's
Mama,
super cute, though.
for paying attention to what your child is doing in her life. But also, no, not this time.
Yeah.
And she also woke up this morning and was like, by the way, what's wrong with Shadow? What happened with Shadow? What is a shadow? Because she heard me lose it last night.
Did she hear the whole thing last night?
She heard the whole thing and she was like, I didn't know if I should get up and come out and check on you. You sounded like you were kind of in control, but also kind of panicking. And I didn't want to overstep. But what is the shadow and what happened to it? And I was like, okay.
Oh, that's actually super cute. You've been adopted by the Voidbringer Shadow.
Oh, for those playing the home game. Nikki was streaming last night on Claire Obscura, and Stream Elements kind of
was mean.
Was mean.
Super mean.
It overexerted its authority and put Shadow into timeout, and all of like the entire chat and I and Nikki just about we're like, no! Wait, no, come back, Shadow! Shadow got put into a temporal timeout, and then Mama got to learn what the mod screen looks like in Twitch because I'd never used it before.
Yeah, that's the part that kind of amazed me the fucking most, but you know, it really didn't.
Love you too,
I was
honey.
like, no, of course not. Of course. No.
I've been watching it like everybody else. I'm a fan first, is how I describe it. So I finally found the mod screen and what that looked like, and also in real time learned how to untime out someone. So welcome back, Shadow. I didn't put you in that void. That was Stream Elements, and the Stream Elements is in timeout for that.
Mm-hmm.
We all panicked, and there were some new people who had never been on Nikki's stream or my stream before going, this is wholesome but weird.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I think that's pretty much our vibe. It's pretty much our vibe.
Wholesome but weird.
Cute.
Do you like wholesome but weird? Join our Discord. Hang out with us.
Where the only rule is
and weird.
Be wholesome, be weird, and the only main rule is don't be a dick.
Yeah, basically.
Be respectful, don't be a dick.
You can do it.
Nicorette can help.
Caleb would be proud of you. If not, the Colonel will find you. That's basically what that is.
Gay loves you, but the Colonel's got to spank you. And it's like, whoa.
Whoa, that escalated quickly. Like, damn.
Damn, son.
Does he have to spank me? I don't know about that. I don't feel comfortable. That sounds like a secret times for someone.
What's the squish?
That ain't no squish, girl.
As we all unlock different secret times. Going.
That's a damn.
Don't listen to this one in public. What's that
Don't
water
listen to any
noise?
secret times in public.
They're not all aggressively inappropriate in public. The early
Mm,
ones and the affections are very sweet.
really? That's what. Okay.
That's come on. The one with Zayne when you're in the car during the rain and he holds your hand and doesn't want to let go. There is nothing raunchy about that.
And then you're like, look, let me try this thing called silent poem.
Yes, then it gets a little aggressive in Silent Poem, but that's a little later.
Then it gets a little aggressive.
It gets a
Okay.
little aggressive,
Just a little aggressive.
just a little some clothes wrestling and some very definitive say my name. And it's like, sir, yes, sir, whatever you say. The emissary has
Mhm.
arrived. Um,
Well then, just remember,
okay,
check
genuine.
check your secret times before listening in a public place.
Okay,
All
genuine
I'm saying.
question. I genuinely want to know which one do you think is the raunchiest that you've listened to thus far?
I don't know. I kind of get horrified and plug my ears. Because I'm like, I shouldn't do this right now. Um, the most uncomfortable is still the ear cleaning. Like that, nothing will change that. Ha! That
Like a
one.
specific one or just the concept of it?
I mean, the only one I've unlocked is Sylus's.
That's
So
not
I
ear
don't have any.
cleaning.
I don't have a lot of the secret times done. Like for example, I don't even have silent poem. So I've had to listen to that on the internet because you must, everyone. There are some that are just part of you know, that you gotta do. I
I
would say
recently
though,
unlocked an ear cleaning one for Zane. Good to know.
we're good. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that. Um, I would honestly say the raunchiest one that I have heard thus far
Mhm.
is it Ivory Prudence? Is the new one from Sylus where
Well, I
that
don't think it's
came with
prudence, it's
Fiend
thirst.
is Thirst. Where I
It's
was
ivory
like,
thirst.
God damn, dude, that's some heavy breathing and some words and some innuendo.
Well, if you're like, it's ear cleaning with Silas, and where I'm like, that's not ear cleaning.
It's never
It's
ear
barely
cleaning.
it's barely lip service to ear cleaning. That is not he is not holding a cotton swab and that the ear is not the hole that's being played with. Let's get real,
No.
real
Nope.
quick.
Nope. 1000%
Just
nope.
just no.
Yeah.
I just want to know how the VAs keep a straight face during those.
I want to know how many takes. Like, how many takes have they had to do? Because one, the VAs, and then two, the ADRs, the directors being like, you know what? That didn't sound like passionate enough. Can you kiss your hand a little more? I need you to imagine, and I'm just going to leave that sentence there for anyone to fill in for themselves. But you get my drift. I just want to be clear. They're very professional. Like, come on, y'all. They're
Can
very
you just
professional.
can you imagine the notes? I'm really sorry. That was great, but it's just not the breathing's not breathy enough. I need it. I need it more airy. Like yearn for me. Like the
And like,
direct
how do
like
you cast it? Can you make your best yearning sound? Excuse me, yearning sound? Yes, yearning sound.
yearning sound.
Okay.
That was a little too high pitch. I'm gonna need you to bring it down. It needs to be less of a and more of a like I need you to come down a notch.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you're holding a cotton swab, but it's not a cotton swab.
I need you to
Go.
make me believe this cotton swab is a vibrator for your back.
Without saying it.
Mm-hmm. I need you to make me believe that my abs are just grating some cheese. Go.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we're gonna need some more wet sounds.
Yeah, like I would be like, need some more wet sounds. Definitely. Could
You
you
could just
squish
turn
it?
on a tap behind you. You're in a bathroom. So I'm gonna need you to turn on a tap, but just enough where we hear that water drop. Like, just trying to figure out how they recorded this in COVID. Like,
Well, the thing that's amazing is you have to remember that the Foley artists, the people doing the sound effects and everything, are just totally a different group of people. somewhere else doing other things. And yeah, and then they just like put it all together. They're like, bless the editors of Secret Times, because also having to sit there and go like waveform by waveform to be like, do I cut off the sigh and the moan here? Like,
That's a
they're
little
like, they do
too
great.
much cloth wrestling. We're gonna need to tone that down a little bit.
I
Maybe
need some zipper here. It's Sylus, you know.
No, we need a belt.
Yeah, sorry, we need a little belt to Caleb is zipper.
Yeah, Caleb is zipper. We need some belt and chain action. So we need some jangling here.
Can you
Like,
yep, on it. On it, boss.
got
Excellent.
it.
Thank you.
Like, this was good, but
So
it wasn't
props to the
horny
entire
enough.
it takes a team of people, ladies, to make you wet with a secret time, and you should commend them all.
That is a
Legitimately.
that is a lot of people dedicated to your pleasure. Just saying.
Yeah. Yup. Good for them. Proud of
Absolutely
them.
good for them. But I also want to chat with the writers because it's like one having to deliver it, but being the person who writes that.
Hey babe, does this sound like
Like,
I need to read something to you. It's for work. I swear it's for work.
I know, like, hey, could you do me a favor? I'm gonna send you something via text. I'm not
Is
trying to
this
start
fan
shit in the middle
fiction?
of a work
No,
day.
no, I swear to God, it's not. It's not. What do you mean this is for work? You get fired. No, no, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, so my job is
Dirty talk is some of the hardest shit to do, and they're dirty talking but censored, so they're just talking in euphemism and metaphor. And I'm like, that's even harder.
good on them. Proud of them.
Kudos, absolute kudos to the team. Ivory Thirst is a good choice. I'm actually thinking for me, the one that made me really squirm, one of the first ones I should say to ever make me really squirm was it Promise Wildfire? Yeah, I think it was Promise Wildfire. I think it was one of the ones that was one of the first to make me go, "Oh, okay. Hello." Raphael has some of the best breathing whimpers that have ever hit the stage. I'm just like, yes. But yeah, no. Promise Wildfire. Ivory Thirst is real like you're like, mm-mm. I remember the first time you listened to Sylus and you listened to his dragon ones, the 4-star ones.
Oh, that's a growl. I should not be listening to this at work. Got it. These are not. That was the first time where I was like, oh, that's not that Secret Times was not as described. It said he's hurt, that he needs help. Nope.
That's not the kind of help I thought. I thought I was bringing some gauze and some
Yeah, like
antiseptic.
I literally was like, I thought I was bringing some band-aids, some ibuprofen. Nope.
Nope. What you
That
needed was
that
lube
was
and a
my bad,
condom.
and I am sorry. That
I
was a poor choice. But how about that new Caleb one?
actually haven't listened to the new Caleb 4-star yet.
Yes, you did. You did it on stream.
Did I? We did the myth on stream. Sorry, it was hot all the way through, and then I got like I was so traumatized. Okay, here's the soul truth. Guys, if you did not watch my live stream, when we hit the end of the Caleb myth, I was sobbing. Like,
She was.
I was so like,
Do you know how much fucking Kleenex I had to clean up around that damn table? Everywhere, just tears. She's like, I can't read the line. And then my favorite part was you trying to ask me questions, and I'm like, babe, I love you. No one can hear you in that high pitched sound.
I was like, keep it professional, keep going, and I can't.
No, there was. You could have should just ended it on just you sobbing into the microphone.
Thank you for coming to this stream.
That's basically what it was. She's trying to ask me how the myth was, and it was like, and I was like, I don't. Are you speaking English? What the hell is happening?
Love your face. What do I do? What do I do? What do you want me to do? And I'm just like, fucking talk. I need to breathe.
It was so funny. So funny.
I hit that last chapter and she just looks over and I've got tears starting to go and she's like, dude, it's a loading screen. I'm sensing the incoming trauma and I'm not ready for it.
It was so good.
Oh my God. So yeah, I kind of blanked out the end of the stream. It's totally like whoosh. Because the new Caleb 4-star was boop, boop, boop. Wasn't Farewell Intimacy, not Farewell Dreamscape. Hello, Verdant Wetlands. Something is wet.
Damn.
Dusk Shard Lotus. Yes. Oh, yes. Now I'm remembering because we giggled our way through it because I was watching your face the entire time as you were in the chat going, I'm being held against my will. This is a clockwork orange.
And remember, you got to hear it in real time. I had to listen with the rest of chat on the delay.
I know, which made it even better because I'd hear the line and I go, oh, this is going to be fun. And I'd wait for it to hit your face.
Anyway, it's a good listen. You should listen to Dusk Shard Lotus.
It's a great time. No alcohol required. When in doubt, play it for your squeamish friends. It's really entertaining.
Or do an ear cleaning.
Oh, the ear cleaning. But in general, so I know we kind of like high-pitched sobbed our way through the ending on thoughts, but now that we're a couple of days out from completing the Caleb myth, what'd you think? Compared to the, because you also just recently did the android myth. So I'm curious of like, which one you liked. Did you like one clearly better? Were they equal in your eyes? Like, regale me, darling, with your thoughts.
Aesthetically, I like the Netherlord myth. It's much more my vibe. Emotionally, I honestly thought the android myth was better. Better in the angst way. Okay, this doesn't sound right.
So, let me try this again.
Let me try this again. I'm so happy I'm the editor.
What's more with feeling?
What's more with feelings?
You felt like android was angstier.
I felt it was angstier in the sense of I love me a good fucked up, heart-wrenching story, don't get me wrong. And which is probably why I love the shit out of this game. Everyone's like, love and grief space. I'm like, yeah, more grief. So
she hands me a tissue box. Like,
yeah. I was not crying at the end. So let me put it that way. Like, especially like Mama.
No, she was energized. She went and did laps around the house. She was like, my soul's been fed.
Well, no, like, it felt like the appropriate conclusion. Is it heartbreaking? Absolutely. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not like a fucking beast. Jesus.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Does it hurt? Yeah. But I think just for me, my personality, it's like our discussion about Rafayel and Zayne, this concept of agency versus fate. What is more horrific for you? I think some of the recurring themes around MC and Caleb is this fact that Caleb's body is not his own. And the android myth, specifically the part about the two-way glass where he can't see her but talks to her, but she can see him.
No, the other way around.
Or whatever. The point is, it's fucked up.
Yes. She couldn't see him, didn't even know he existed because her memory also kept getting wiped, but he could always see her. And he was used as kind of the testing ground for her. Like, if it could survive Caleb, then we'll use it on MC because she's our special little snowflake.
And then, like, the body horror element of having to tear the port out and all that other stuff. So personally, I think Android is more angsty in that way. I feel like Netherlord is a fantastic mythical romp, and I love it. Like, again, like I said, I love the story. I love the aesthetic. I think it is gorgeous. It is fun. It is beautiful. It doesn't pull on my heartstrings the same way. It pulls at them in a different way. I feel, honestly, that Android is truly about Caleb, and Netherlord is about MC and what Caleb does for her. It's one of the few times I feel like as MC, you are following along in that first person view. You don't know what happened. You're trying to figure out. You're missing just as many memories and blind spots and everything like that. And so I felt like you're unraveling what Caleb did in Netherlord versus Android, where it is very much you are kind of in it together.
Yes. I think because also you're starting from a similar place. They put Caleb and her in a similar place almost, although Caleb is always put in the position where he does know more than MC.
Right.
He is the keeper of her memories in a lot of ways. and that's going to send me off on a tangent that I want to hold off on really quick, because the fun question I have for you is, now that we've done both, you and I originally asserted that Android was Caleb's happy ending. They die together, they get to have their
Yep.
kiss, they explode into
I
the
still
little
think it's his
supernova.
happy ending.
You still think it's the happy ending?
Absolutely for Caleb, yes.
For Caleb, yes.
I
Like, we
honestly,
go
no, I would say for
together
both of them. I think for both of them. I think they would rather die together than be forced
to live
to
separately.
live separately. And like, this is their brutal ending, I think.
I
Um,
agree I agree with that, because knowing they're both alive and that they can never touch each other again, at least right now, in like the way they have it stated. Caleb's in the mortal world, she's in the nether world.
where it has ended in I felt like they were like, we're trying to be hopeful and that maybe it's like, no, fuck it. It's sad right here.
Yeah, this is, there's, the hope is Caleb dies and she gets to see him as he crosses the bridge again, but they can't do what they did before in terms of completely upending the entire cosmos to stay together.
Exactly.
This is a, hey babe, maybe you can hang out an extra day or two, and this is the only time we get together before we
Hmm.
must go our separate ways again. I genuinely feel that for Caleb and MC's storyline, the most brutal ending for them is both alive and unable, well, alive or undead, pure separation with no ability to get back at each other. Like, it, no communicate, not even like we send letters by pigeons, like nothing. There is zero communication.
Go Nether Wardens, take our messages.
I know. I was kind of like, they did it in Final Fantasy 15. Can't we just weaponize
Can't
the
we give them
cute,
two
adorable?
dogs? It'll be
Can we give them
fine.
2 dogs? It's fine. Like, at least let them
Spoiler,
trade
one of the
letters.
dogs dies.
I know. It could still be tragic. Like, let's do this. Um, Whereas with the other allies, it's death. It's just, how did you die? Um, with usually MC, and this is interesting. It's MC's been making the sacrifice play for the 3rd round. So it's MC going, hey Raffikins, totally get what you're feeling, but shish kebab. It's, hey Xavier, hey Zayne, totally get all of this, but I'm going to make an executive decision here to move forward. Whereas with Caleb and Sylus, Sylus and MC get to die together in the coffin. They get their happy ending,
Totally
which is
their happy
also,
ending.
which is there's the separation thing, I think, coming into play. And then you've got, Caleb and MC, where it's a joint decision. It's like the best endings come from when it's a joint decision and not one of them, not the LI or MC making an executive decision to sacrifice or do something stupid. But yeah, like the walking across the bridge moment, like the tear down his face. I was like, oh, Caleb, baby. And they're like, hey, did you know that when you're yearning for someone so much, it rains where they are?
Yeah. You're like, oh.
And I'm like, thanks,
I love the little
Infold.
Nether Warden who's like, someone must be really missing someone if it reaches here. It's like, no shit, buddy.
Like, no freaking duh. Hello. I didn't need you to explicitly just turn the knife a little harder, little warden dude. That we didn't need to just stab
Yeah,
me
they did.
again.
They did.
They're like, hey, there's this picture of the same person over and over again, and she keeps talking about this Caleb person. And I love how it's like, I don't know if they're connected.
We'll never know.
No one will ever know. It's like, oh my God, can we just stop? I think aesthetically, for me, the Nether Warden aesthetic is just so well done, especially after the Mortality's Tenderness banner. It's just in that vein for me. I will say,
Mhm.
between the two, I think the Netherlord is my favorite between this and Android.
Mhm.
In a lot of ways, I actually disagree with you in that I found this memory angstier.
Mhm.
Um,
Talk to me, Goose. Tell me. Tell me the angst.
I think for me, there was a lot of push pull between her and Caleb, in that she knows he's hiding something from her. Like, she keeps trying to, bless her, she was trying to ask follow-up questions.
She was. We got to give her points this time.
And I was so proud of her. She was
You're like, you
asking
get it,
follow-up
girl.
questions, delicately poking out what she knew clearly hurt. Um, but she was like, I love her irritation also at the old spirit master of like, why are you here? You have something to say, just say it. Like,
Mhm.
stop following me. Um, but this lack of memory on her part and how she would go between it actually kind of bothers me that I don't remember, but I feel like every time I try to remember, it leads to one, literal physical pain, and two, I feel like that's a door I don't want to open because it will result in me losing Caleb, and that's my bigger fear. Not my loss of identity, but my loss of Caleb. So I'm just going to keep rolling over here, and then both of them doing the Caleb being like, I don't want you to know your memories to keep you from that pain and despair. And she's like, I'm getting hungrier and I think I'm turning into a monster, so I'm not going to tell you. And it's just the back and forth between those two and the death and resurrections, her descent into feralness and coming back, the bargain she has to make to get Caleb back the second time and teaching him his memories and him regaining his memories, and then the full-on separation of the two of them at the
Oh, but
end.
we gotta go.
But we gotta go. I got you back, and this is great. And now we gotta drink the waters of oblivion, forget everything that exists, break our fate, and be separated for the rest of, eternity because she's an immortal Netherlord.
This feels like the first time Caleb got slapped with the fate aspect. Fuck Astra, as
Yes.
always. But, like, either taking a look at Zayne's myths or Raphael's myths, it's the whole, "But you're destined to do this thing," right? And we haven't had that before with the kind of the Caleb storylines, and now it, like, finally hits. And the two of them are like, "Okay, great, I don't give a fuck. Why us?" You know?
Yes.
And I very much appreciated that, whereas, like, with Raphael and the whole Lemuria stuff, we'll just put it that way,
Mhm. So much
it
in those two words,
I
Lemurian
know,
stuff.
Lemuria stuff, y'all got it. It's very much, this is just the way it is and we accept it. I have been anointed your great follower, and he's like, "Well, I guess I'm the fucking sea god." Um, and mind you, he is trying to find a way to push back, but at no point does he ever go, "Fuck it, I don't have to be sea god." You know? It's like, it is what it is, kind of a vibe. Same thing I even will say with Xavier and the whole crown, like, to the point where his third myth is like, "Well, my life is so fucked, my whole entire kingdom is dead, and I guess I'm king of dead people." Woo! Like, you know? So,
I see
there's
dead
there
people shit.
yeah, I see dead people. Fuck it. In Silas's dragon myth, same thing, like, there's this acceptance, I feel. And I almost say Zayne is almost the closest, but even still then he's like, "Oh no, it's a fate acceptance thing," until God of Annihilation where he's like, "I will find a fucking way." And
Yes.
then she kills herself. It's great, it's beautiful.
It's
But, like,
fabulous.
yeah, but this is the first time, I think Caleb got fate slapped
I feel that. I also feel like
right across the
unlike
face.
seriously right across the face. I feel like unlike the others also, I feel like the other love interests are like, I can still be the thing and have her. I just have to find what the
A
key is to let me
solution.
have both. There's got to be a
Yes.
way to have both. I can be sea god and save her. I can save my planet and save her. It's just I haven't found the answer yet. There is a I've
And in this
accepted
myth,
fate
yeah.
to a degree. With
I feel
this
like this
myth
myth opens with, "Well, this was the fate, and I already tried to fix it, and it didn't work, and this is the consequence of that."
and how he keeps saying it'll take thousands, 10,000 years for this to fully crumble. Like he's buying himself time. He knows it's
Time.
going to end. He just wants to spend every nanosecond he can with her and have her completely unaware of the shenaniganry that togetherness causes. Um, it's Caleb is fascinating to me, and this myth is fascinating to me. Um,
Are
one
you
because of
about to
how
bust out into your 6 pages of notes?
I might be about to bust out.
Go do it. I am prepared.
Are you prepared?
Yep, I have girded my loins for the Netherlord.
So, I don't know how much you are aware of when it comes to Chinese mythology. And just as a disclaimer going forward, I did print out a little bit of a pronunciation guide, but bear with me, everybody. I'm doing my best. This myth is heavily, heavily coded, obviously, in Eastern traditions and Chinese mythology. Specifically, I'm going to argue that Inful took the story of Nuwa and Fuxi, and
I love how tentatively.
I don't want to offend anybody. I'm doing my best.
It's
And
okay.
did their own twist on it. And the one thing I will highlight for everybody is that as you hear it in all of his myths, you heard it in Android, you hear it in present day, you hear it in this one. Caleb constantly says, "We are born from the same source." Now he amplifies it in this one by saying, adding on the addendum, the two flowers that bloom from the same stem. Um, and this is actually, that line is an invocation of this mythological story, and it's, from my understanding, one of the oldest cosmological significant relationships in Chinese mythology. So
It is the creation myth. It's
it
one
is
of.
it's one of the creation myths, and it starts in this the divine sibling trope, which Western versus Eastern, there is a whole
We have an
thing
episode
about it.
about it.
We had an episode about it before, but it is, just to sum that episode up, divine siblings is absolutely a global phenomenon when it comes to human mythology and folklore. You see it absolutely across everybody. Osiris and Isis, Apollo and Artemis, Freyr and Freya are some of the more well-known divine siblings and cosmic pairings. It's the framework that's really significant, in that with Western frameworks, they're very much about complementary forces like Apollo and Artemis, sun and moon, order and wildness. But I want to highlight the difference in interpretation when it comes to romance and the connection. In Western mythology and Western framework, it's treated as transgressive or specifically divine. Like, the gods can do this, you cannot. So it's the taboo of it in Western is very load bearing, very front, and it defines the boundary, and the story stops there with it. But with Eastern framework, with Nuwa and Fuxi as the foundation, the kind of archetype of the divine sibling in Chinese mythology, we get this. We're going back to like 2nd century AD, and the, bless me, Shua Wen Zhu Jiazhou. Totally butchered that 9 Ways from Sunday. Again, really sorry. But that defined them as Nuwa as the sister and wife of Fuji. They're not one or the other. They're both simultaneously. And super quick background for those who are like, I've never heard of this myth or these people ever before. Essentially, you're getting some of that Noah Gilgamesh flood stuff happening, in that it's a flood survival myth. They were left alone on Mount Kunlun. They wanted to marry because, hey, everybody is dead. We got to repopulate humanity. It is considered taboo because they're brother and sister. So they asked the cosmos for permission, essentially, through divination, fire, millstones, needle and thread. They go through the lot, and the cosmos come back every single time and say, go forth and multiply. Like, you're flagged, you get the green light. Go do this. They're always intertwined, and they're technically one of the earliest forms of a visual representation of yin and yang.
I mean, to add a quick note on that, they are essentially the really big thing, and why the yin and yang element is really really big here is I believe it is Fuxi who is credited with writing portions of the I Ching. And so that symbol of them on the bridge with the lotus and the yin yang sign that comes around is actually considered to be that the design of that portion of the yin yang is thought to have actually been created by Fuxi. It's supposed to be
Mhm.
their Chai Di diagram.
For Eastern tradition, the taboo doesn't end the story, it actually initiates it. And the question is never, is this wrong? It's, is this fated? And for the cosmos, the answer is yes. The union isn't personal, it's cosmological, and the balance of creation and the universe depend on it.
Get
So,
fucked by fate.
like, literally. So divine siblings in Eastern tradition is more about fated pairs, romantic or not. It is about these two lives, these two souls are absolutely tied together through the entire timeline of creation. Whether they are divine, whether they're going through the reincarnation cycle, they will always be paired together. Period. You see with Caleb and MC throughout the 5-star memories and stories, whether they're AUs or present day timeline, either they're blood related, foster siblings, whatever it is, they're in that sibling role. The blood connection is secondary. It doesn't really matter if they're blood related or not. That's not the point. The point is that sibling relationship, that we are born from the same source. So this brings in the Lotus. And in this myth, the Lotus is everywhere. And we've seen it in his other memory. The most obvious one, of course, was here in the floating floral letter. As you can see, he pulls the lotus out of the water. He uses it as a wand. This memory was one of the first times where the lotus took front and center in that lovely flower boat and Ophelia and all that jazz. The lotus in and of itself, in Buddhism and Taoism, the lotus represents purity, rising from corruption, and spiritual enlightenment, and the bridge between mortal and divine realms. So the twin lotuses, the two flowers born from the same stem, is very classical Chinese imagery for inseparable fated souls. It is literally everywhere. It's to the point where Caleb builds MC a lotus pond to purify the soul beads. So the function mirrors the symbol, and the lotuses are literally cleansing the corruption before he feeds it to her so it's pure. But they do something interesting. So we were talking about yin and yang earlier, and they kind of invert it a little bit in that Caleb makes the decision to invert it. Because in Taoist cosmology, the yin is the feminine, and it's the part that governs death and darkness and the underworld. Yang, the masculine, governs life, light, the mortal realm, and you have the balance between the two of them being the foundation for cosmological order. And in the myth, you notice how it says that MC was fated to be the Netherlord, and that's what started this whole insanity. She was meant to assume her place, as she should, as yin, to rule the netherworld and be in that position. And then Caleb usurped it. Not out of greed or anything. He literally was like, it's not fair that you're fated to do this, so I'm going to step in and do it for you. And it's not the first time he does it. It's that sacrifice. He does it in Android, where he steps in to try and he takes her. You remember the scene where he takes her
He
power?
takes her power, essentially.
Yeah,
He
takes her.
becomes the weapon.
He becomes the weapon. You see it in present day, where he's trying to basically tap dance his way in front of Ever, like, these are not the droids you are looking for. Don't look over there. I can do whatever you want. Yeah, I can put me in the fountain of Ate.
You're just questioning every pronunciation of a word that is not an article right now.
I know.
You're doing good, buddy. It's okay.
It's part of the cycle that he essentially steps in for her and is like, I will bear the pain, I will bear the burden, I will bear the cost. And then that tends to, he's forcing himself in the wrong cosmic position, essentially. Literally in the
hand raise?
netherworld. Yes.
So you're talking very much from the Taoist perspective, which makes sense. We're talking about yin and yang.
Yes.
I have another theory I will throw at you after when you are done. But I think one of the reasons we keep kind of seeing this tension between Caleb and MC is that I think in the West we often think that yin and yang is just it's one or the other. They're opposing sides, they're conflicting. But like it's not. It is the operating system of Daoism, to borrow a tech phrase.
Mhm.
And yin and yang are always They're relational. They're not absolute. They're dynamic and not static. And they're actually complementary to each
Mhm.
other and not conflicting. And I think that's really reflected in one of the lines that MC says often in battle, which is, "My place is beside you, not behind you." In that Caleb is always trying to force his way in front, trying to force a solution for her versus being complimentary and working with her.
He tries to force something dynamic into a static position.
Mhm. And again,
Yes.
instead of being complimentary, he is not being contrarian, but he's being conflicting and not letting MC wholly, like, do her thing, not being with her. He's trying to protect her. But in an absolute, like, road to hell is paved in good intention kind of way. He does it out of love. He does it what he feels is right, but he's making the solution and the answer versus working with her to do that.
Exactly. And you see it in the third myth in that he takes on that Fushi role and the
I mean, he does
Yang
it in all the
force.
myths for
He does it in
her.
all the myths, but it's explicit here. It's
Yes.
really explicit here, where he is absolutely the stand-in for Yang and the mortal realm ruler and the one who brings civilization and order, and he is trying to occupy or stay in the yin, the netherworld. And that's not the way the
It's not
universe
your
is
home,
made to
buddy.
hold. It's not his
Mhm.
home. And so because of that, the calamities rise up, the corruption is happening, and everything's going sideways because the door is closed, the bridge isn't working. Like he is shut down the entirety of
You
the natural
broke it,
order.
Caleb. You
He kind
broke
of
the
broke it.
universe.
He broke the
God
universe
damn it.
out of love, out of extreme love and devotion that is completely wholly
You
understandable.
find it hot, don't you? You just want a
A little
man to
bit.
break the universe for you.
If he won't if he won't break the universe for me, why are we together?
I mean,
Like,
that is a very good
I'm
point.
not saying we're gonna break the universe. I'm just saying
He needs to be willing
he needs to
to
be
break.
willing.
Okay, got it. Understood. So
Like
you
willing
want
to
him
go
to
there.
bring the head of your enemies and the potential to break the universe.
I mean,
Got it.
talk with me about it. Let's have a conversation and absolutely be like, "Hey baby, love the energy. Few thoughts." And then we can talk about it. And then if I still commit to it, I want him by my side. He doesn't have to agree. He just has to support me,
Hey, babe, I made you some coffee.
right?
That's fine. That's great.
Um,
Mom
but
avoids universal break plan.
just a little, just a little. Which fun fact, total side note here, I didn't realize how many cultures and religions absolutely have the feminine space connected with death. Like
Yeah,
it's all over the
actually,
place.
more like majority.
It is. It's the vast majority. I mean, you've
Sailor
got
Saturn, baby, didn't come out of nowhere.
she really didn't. I mean, you had Persephone being one of the most famous in Greek and Roman traditions. You've also got Hecate, who governs the crossroads and the thresholds. You flop over into Norse, and you've got Hel ruling the dead.
The point
So it
is,
is.
don't
It's
fuck
global.
around with ladies.
Essentially, yes. And I find that fascinating. And I'm like, yay, go us, go team.
You find that
But
fascinating because
I
you live in the West.
I find that fascinating because I just like the way I like the psychology behind. I find the implications interesting. But that's a whole different podcast. And I'm not going to get lost
Welcome
in there.
to our Love and Chick Space Mythology Cast, a special
Right?
episode.
I got 6 pages to get through, y'all. But so Inanna, I her descent, you see this literarily in other places as well, and also mythologically with Orpheus and Izanagi. And when MC goes feral, when she goes and she's like, Caleb has died and the world sucks and I don't care anymore, and I'm gonna go find Caleb, and just proceeds to carve a bloody path, eat ghosts and things, and just lose her mind. her grief destroys her entire cognition. I almost lost it when she finally finds Caleb, and she's so far gone, she doesn't even recognize him. Not even the name. She is so far gone. All she remembers is the name. She doesn't even remember the face that the name is connected to. I was like, cool, I'm not going to start sobbing now, but this is a moment.
I mean, you're talking about the descent, and I find it interesting that you think of it that way. I think of it as a lovely allegory for female rage.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely that as well. I mean, she loses her shit. It's grief, it's rage, it's visceral, it's primal. And I love it because, so many times it's like, how do we define female rage and sadness? She sits prettily in a
Let me
window
get on
and a
my
single,
fainting couch and
I'm going to stare out a window longingly with a single perfect tear falling down my cheek. Now
no,
back
that's
to work.
Caleb this time.
I know, he gets to have the perfect tear.
It is, and by the way, it's a perfect fucking tear.
It is a perfect fucking tear because that man is the golden ratio.
And
But
the micro expressions in this one, well done in full on that animation too.
oh god, yeah. Um, but like, yeah, so her descent, her loss into madness is an absolute reflection of the journey that Nuwa goes through, and that whole descending into the broken world, repairing what was lost. But here it's expressed through grief and rage as opposed to like intention. And Caleb spends centuries bringing her back, like
Mhm.
just to get her to say his name. And then she does the same in terms of bringing him back. Um, One of the questions I had for you, and we talked about it on the stream, was the old spirit master and how she seems to be a narrative stand-in for Meng Po,
Granny Mung. Yep.
Granny Meng, the Lady of Forgetfulness in Chinese mythology. And here's the question I have for you. In mythology, I read that she hangs out on the bridge before the souls enter into the reincarnation cycle, and she has her like, here's the soup, drink the soup, forget the thing. But she is a stationary figure. In this narrative, they have her kind of rolling all over the place in both the mortal realm and the underworld, and she seems to be like temp gauging MC the entire time. Did you take her as an understanding figure, as an ominous figure? How did she read to you in the story?
I want to say kind of like if we had to do the D&D board, she's like lawful neutral. She
Mhm.
doesn't ever force MC to do anything. She technically does not. She does not like hold her at knife point and is like, "Bitch, you got a Netherlord it up!" Doesn't do that. But and I think the most telling moment is, when I did the myth, I chose the opposite answer you did just to see what happens about the spirit master and the two siblings and blah blah blah. The answer is the same from the spirit master. Fate is what it is. This is the state of the world. You've both made a decision. There's a solution. Are you willing to choose that solution? Just gonna gauge where you're at. Okay. Ultimately, MC makes the decision. It's not like she has a lot of choice in her mind. Because
Mhm.
to be frank, she could just be like, fuck it, let everything end. My
She could
Caleb
have.
is gone. Like, yeah. And she could have. So that's why I'm kind of like lawful neutral. She knows the solution. She doesn't force it upon MC. She doesn't directly ever tell her, this is your fucking fault. And
At no point does she really dress it down and be like, "Hey, you two broke the world, and while I love that energy, no."
I thought that aspect was kind of interesting. And yeah, the whole super forgetfulness before reincarnation, standing on the bridge element. One of the unique things about Mengpo is that she creates that it's a soup or a tea or various different tellings is she creates it because of her grief of losing her husband, and she can't forget him, so she can't reincarnate, and so she develops this so that those who reincarnate have a better, this is one of those tellings, have a better chance of living again and garnering their karma for reincarnation. That toast, the pose is called sober toast, not somber toast, sober.
Mm-hmm.
And we can clearly tell that it does not work or they don't do it. And I honestly think it's that they do it, but it doesn't work. Like that their connection is so strong and that they are celestial beings. It like doesn't apply is sort of my vibe. Um, that's my headcanon.
No, I absolutely agree with you. And I think it is absolutely on purpose that
Mm-hmm.
they waters don't work. And it's
Work.
funny because the water, the soup tea, whatever it is meant to make you the rivers of oblivion. It's meant to make you forget. And the funny thing is when she remembers, she's in water and she's swimming because it's stated that all rivers and water lead back to the river of oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't know where she is in that journey, but she's in the water when she remembers, which I find very interesting. The story is telling the decision that Infold has made by having it quote unquote not work is that it's beyond them. Their devotion to each other is so deep, so faded, so connected. There is no severing it. There is no
Mm-hmm.
making them forget. It is beyond divine intervention.
Right.
And of course the myth ends with the restoration of the cosmology in that Caleb Young returns to the mortal realm where he belongs, and then MC Yin stays as the Netherlord she was intended to be from the beginning, and that's what restores. And now they just sit and cry about it, literally. And a part of me is like, hey, Caleb, with all those paintings, did you find an iteration of Raphael? Like, did
Probably.
you start painting, or did you just find a traveling artist who was like, hey, you're a little weird with your purple hair. I got a girl.
She looks like this, buddy.
If you could just paint her, that would be great. Um,
Can I toss a fun mythology theory out at you?
yes, because now we're getting into some parts where I absolutely want to like chew this with you. So hit me.
I understand the whole Taoist route because we're talking yin and yang.
Mhm.
Um, but how much do you know about Chinese Buddhism, specifically derived from the Mahayana Buddhist traditions of India?
That I'm going to be thin on the ground and only know very high level.
Okay. The reason I'm bringing this up is there are 6 sutra,
Mhm.
and one
Mhm.
of the sutra is called the Lotus Sutra.
Mhm.
And it's very interesting when you look at it because the concept of the Lotus Sutra, known as like one vehicle, many skillful means, anyone has the opportunity to become a Buddha, blah 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 blah, right? I'm not going to get into it entirely. The Buddha still lives. It's great. But when looking at like the stories that are written, because there's allegories and things like that, there's the, deep meditative state in the Buddhist fields. We're talking about what skillful means actually means. Like, how does one reincarnate or live on and do all that? But as you continue to go through it, there's the parable of the burning house, where the the story is a father essentially is saves his children from a burning house by throwing them out, and it's supposed to be like the Buddha saving humanity. And then this it continues on, like how there's the guidance and the leading, the bestowals of prophecy, this concept of an illusionary city, Skyhaven, and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
I just thought it was really, really interesting. I don't want to get into the 20 chapters of Buddhism right now. It's
That is not this podcast.
yeah, yeah. But I thought that was a unique lens to look at just Caleb as a whole in. Like I did my homework.
So proud of you, but also that I think is really fascinating. And I love that addition to it. I love Caleb's story for a lot of reasons. And it's because to me, in a lot of ways, he stands out, not as superior, but different. You and I have spoken before about how for Caleb, and this is kind of getting into my what does all this mean for like present day Caleb and things of that nature. We've talked about how Caleb doesn't really have a quote unquote divine form. Now, before everybody goes off on me about the Netherlord and divinity and all of that, divine people don't reincarnate like this. Caleb wasn't divine. Caleb was a human soul that was so strong that he challenged the cosmological order and held it hostage for a very, very long time. But he was still human. He was still human. The other LIs all have a pretty much divine form. With Zayne, it's absolutely explicit. He is the god of annihilation and the emissary. Sylus is divine in that he is associated with more of the monstrous divine. He is the fiend and whether that's expressed via a dragon form or a vampire form with some really neat wings, it's the fiend. That is who he is at the core. And then you've got Rafayel, who is the sea god. He is and whether we're going to come down on the side of he is born as the physical avatar body of the sea god's divine power, or whether he is legitimately the god of the sea reincarnating over and over and over again, that's a long debate. And then you had Xavier, who is immortal and, king of the undead and things of that nature. Caleb is always human. And the reason why I bring this up is I think it comes into play with why all the other myths in the third round connected to other myths. Sea God connected to God of Tides, God of Annihilation tied all of his myths up. Xavier's myth connected back to Light Seeker. Abyssal Sovereign connected back to his dragon myth. They all connected. Caleb's didn't. Not at the surface. I don't think his story is one where he can have a connection like that because he is human, because he reincarnates, because of the memory themology, the theme about identity and memory with him. I think what the connection is the pattern of the lives. He and MC are born together. He wants to protect MC, so he basically defies all of creation in every single iteration, trying to save her. It doesn't go well. Shit gets real, and either they die together, one of them dies, or they cross each other on a bridge and live knowing the other is all the way over there and they can never touch them again. I think the connecting in this case isn't something explicit like sea god being the literal extension of God of Tides just a couple of centuries later. It's about the pattern, the cycle of it all. The birth, the death, the memory, and Caleb's role within that in adjacent to MC and how he orbits her and how those patterns go. Yes, they're repeated lines, but they're repeated thematic lines. The we are born from the same source, we are two flowers from the same stem. It's the theme.
And when she gives the speech of "I'm your sister and I will protect
yes.
you," that is actually explicit what he says to her.
Yes.
In the main story.
So I think it's more about the setup. It's repeating the same almost karmic destiny over and over again, trying to change the ending of the story. Mm-hmm. I think that's the connection. Not an explicit extension of the other myths. It's about the repetition of the cycle and the connection between the two.
I think that's fair to say. I think we might see an explicit connection later, but for now, I almost feel like we're still early on. I stand by my aspect of Sylus and Caleb. This doesn't feel like a third myth because of Relentless Conqueror and Colonel being a part of the main story as it is,
Mm-hmm.
So I still think there's potential. I like to think this is maybe their first foray together in the universe. Is what my heart says,
So you think it's more like with the OT3, they're a little further along in their story timeline than we are with Caleb and Sylus, because technically Xavier does have a present day myth in Lumiere.
Mm-hmm. Lumiere is weaved into the world, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, into the Chrono Shift catastrophe as well.
Yes. Because he saves her.
Because he saves her, right. So I feel like we're seeing, that one to me doesn't, explicitly happen just in the moment. And I think it's because Xavier's fucking, 200 years old.
200,
As one
300, who knows how old
is.
that man is.
Yeah. So I don't necessarily put Lumiere in that. Like, we are literally living Relentless Conqueror and Colonel Caleb right fucking now. Lumiere is
Yes.
like, I kind of retired the fucker.
What was
Smoking
that?
a
Do that again?
cigarette. He's like in the back of a bar, like smoking a cigarette, like, yes, those were the good old days in the nest. Remember this one time during that fucking chrono shift catastrophe? Yeah. That's exactly how my brain goes. Uh, so I would kind of challenge that. No, like I think they're in different parts of their story than the OG3. Which is not a bad thing. It's just I think it's different.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing either, but I do think it's an interesting take that
Full of interesting takes.
I know, that's why I like discussing these things. That's why we created a podcast. But I think that's a fair judgment to make. But a part of me, I was like, I want to know the story. You know me. I always want to know the story. So I was like, I wonder how they're going to tie the third myth into the other two, because I'm trying to figure out the connective tissue of how are they all intertwined, because there's clearly an intertwining of all the various myths in and of themselves in their own individual timelines, separate timelines, bitches. But
Well, here's my question. I like to think of the game of Love in Deep Space as us sort of playing through the fractal library. And we know how big that fucking library is. For you, as a
mhm.
player, do you need them all to intertwine at some point? Why can't we have AU Netherlord Caleb?
Because I think I'm looking for the overarching narrative thread. Like, cool, this is a great episode, but what's the overall series plot line? I think that's how I look at it, is
You
that,
can't have the themes like you just talked about. You need like, I need this to connect. It must.
well, I think for Caleb, the themes are the connection,
Okay.
not so much his identity as the Netherlord, or Zayne is the god of annihilation. That matters. The emissary matters. That role matters. And that's what connects him across all these different iterations, AUs, and whatever, because he shows up and goes, well, this experiment failed. Goodbye. And ends it all.
He's our
That
little Sailor
matters.
Saturn.
He's a little Sailor Saturn. He shows up and ends it all and just, etch-a-sketches it back to the beginning. Raphael being the sea god matters. It's the reason why this all kicked off to begin with, because Raphael learned, oh, you weren't talking a metaphor when you said she gives me her heart. You meant that literally. Xavier's identity is the Prince of Sylus and where he comes from, again, critical to why they're in this mess. So there are hints of a quote unquote first sin, first transgression, the first time shit went off the rails. I'm trying to figure out what that was with Caleb. Obviously, man made a sacrifice that wasn't his to make, and it just screwed the pooch. So was it the Netherlord?
Hey, bro,
Is
maybe we don't. Maybe we don't do that.
maybe we actually, I don't know, talk to her, let her ask some more follow-up, encourage the follow-up questions, Caleb. Or maybe
Hey, buddy,
you ask some follow-up questions.
Agency is cool. Agency is cool.
Like,
And also, you don't, there's a part of me that absolutely wants to be like, hey, bud, you do know you don't have to live your life for someone else. And it's okay to live your own with someone, not for someone. And I think that's
exactly. Like,
also part of Caleb's tragedy is it's like, hey buddy, you're more than just replacement body parts. It's cool. You matter.
exactly. Like, Caleb's identity is wrapped around he is not important. What he can do for MC is. And MC is screaming on the sidelines, you don't have to do anything. Just stand there and look fucking pretty and hold my hand. Like, you don't have
Look
to
pretty,
do anything.
honey.
Just be
Stand there, look
pretty.
gorgeous.
You know, grow
let
your
me
chest out another
objectify
couple of
you.
centimeters. Like,
Let's
you don't,
talk about your pillowy man bosoms that I need in my life. It's like, damn.
like, let me nuzzle your collarbones. You don't have to do anything. You could be my
MC
sugar
literally
baby.
got
I don't give a
feral.
shit. Like, you know, it's good enough that you like to fly planes, and it's good enough that you get really nerdy around models. That's good enough, Caleb. You're good enough as you are. You're quirky, you're nerdy, and you are
Just be
so
a little
rampantly
otaku. I
insecure.
appreciate the kernel, but damn.
Like, it's okay. It's okay to put on loungewear and be like, here's my crazy glue and my little. Caleb is playing Warhammer. I swear to, he's got his little paintbrush, and he is happiest when he is
Dude.
sitting.
I still stand behind the fact that Zayne and Caleb are homies over Warhammer. I think Caleb would make the set and the toys, and Zayne is nerdy enough to be the one who absolutely works out. He's the DM or the
Yeah.
GM. He's totally going to be like, okay, so you're walking here. How many feet? I want to roll for this. You can't. You're 20 feet away.
He would. He would be JB. He'd absolutely
have a
games rule
ruler.
the hell everybody.
He'd have the map. Everything would be to scale. And Zayne is the kind of GM I love. But anyway, and they would nerd out about it together, and then they'd get MC into it.
Absolutely. Like, it's okay to be a nerd, Caleb. You don't have to be the hero, save the world, and do all the things. The girl already is in love with you. You got the girl. The thing that every hero is trying to do outside of saving the world is get the girl. You got the girl. You got the girl from the cradle. You got the girl in the last life. You're going to get the girl in the next life. Like, the girl is yours. You won the game. Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to sacrifice anything. Caleb is good enough as Caleb. And I swear to God, she spends the entire time of their relationship screaming it at him in terms
to
of
be
like,
fair, boy got some trauma from, being subject to trapped in a
yeah,
facility with her. And then you kind of look at the android myth and you go, I think this happened before.
yeah. No, the android myth just gives you an absolute hint of like, hey, so when Caleb said he was experimented on and that one anecdote, this is what we mean, probably darker.
Absolutely. Well, that
But
was
yeah,
a
so
fun romp into Caleb shenanigans and mythology.
welcome to Mama Void completely overthinks Caleb's third myth and goes on
It's
a
cool.
freaking bender.
It's cool.
I Googled a lot. I learned a
I
lot.
know. You can post your pages on the Discord. It'll be great.
I think it gives I think it just gives a lot over into, you know, these writers are trying to say something. Sort of. Now I sound like I'm sitting in front of a static TV going, the voices in the static are trying to talk to me.
Little bit. Little bit.
But
I appreciate you and your love of pixelated men.
the story
This is
matters.
a story, and it is beautiful, and I love it.
Hot.
If you do not have the Netherlord, good luck on your pulls. He's fabulous and fun. Or you
Which, hold on, how have you liked playing with him, by the way, in battle?
still learning. I have finally unlocked the companion as of yesterday, and I have enough to get the solars to 70, which is good. But he's R0, and I'm working through it. There's a lot of balancing.
Is he sorry.
I was gonna say my thing is, you know how much I love a sword, and I love a sword because I love the speed. It's not like Master of Fate. It's like you have to attack like basic pause, do the sword stance change, and then apply your half of the lotus, have him apply his half of the lotus. So it's a lot of juggling states, and I'm trying to because there's two ways you can play him, and I'm trying to figure out which one I like to play, which I think I know, which is like the Lotus Mark juggle because I like mark and detonate. But the other side of it is that the correct is that the most powerful way I could do it, and I don't know yet. So again,
Would you
I've probably been playing with him for 24 whole hours.
We've talked about how the battle companions in the most recent iteration have been like, "Hi, so now that we've got this down, we'd like to throw 16 different passives and 45 different skills at you. Go." Uh, is he that level of complicated like Dark Knight and Sea God and God of Annihilation and all the stuff that I don't really understand, but it looks really pretty on screen, and I love watching you do it?
He is in their same vein, absolutely. But on top of it, the thing is, I will say that Caleb, and it fits his character quite well. Caleb has complex companions to begin with. Looking at Colonel and Android, you were talking about battle resource management, mark and detonations, things that stack, all of that. Basically, if you took Colonel, Android, and Relentless Conqueror, smashed them together and said, "Hey, baby, have a sword," that's really where you've got Netherlord. And so it's a lot of managing battle resources, marks, states, movements, and it's very similar to the complexity of Archfiend, but I don't think is forgiving as
Mm,
Archfiend. Because, like,
really?
again, you can play Archfiend shittily and still do kind of well. Like, you can get by. Um, Netherlord is like, you have to choose a way to play shittily. Mark and detonate shittily or state change shittily. You can't like hybrid that. At least that's what I'm seeing. Like I said, I've only had him a whopping 24 hours and I slept for 8 of those hours and now I'm podcasting. So
How dare you?
how dare I?
Um, I locked you in an attic, learn the battle rotation, Jesus. Uh,
Seriously.
but hold on, something that's standing out to me. So you're saying there's multiple ways that the Netherlord can be played versus Sylus and Zayne and oh my god, Raphael and Xavier, who it's like that's their rotation. This is what you do and you're done.
A little bit. I mean, to be fair, you can adjust your play with everyone. I would say Silverwing Fiend gives you the opportunity to have 2 full states of play because as most people forget, um, to use the technical term, after Chomp Chomp State. Chomp Chomp State is, technically it doesn't end, there's no timer on it.
Mhm.
There is kind of a timer in the sense of how many, like, rose bullets you fire, but you stay in that state until you come out of it. So, you can choose how you wanna fuck with that. But in this
Mhm.
case, from at least from what I've seen, again, um, there's the I'm sure to play him exceptionally well and wreck a crap ton of face is combining the mark and detonate with the state changes appropriately.
Mhm.
But I gotta learn both of the mechanics and the timing because, like I said, generally, we're very used to basic attack being like 4 basics into a thing, right? And then
Mhm.
this like 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a rhythm that the game and you saw me when I was doing the companion practice where I was like, "What the shit?" And it's like
Yes.
1, 2, pause. She flips her sword around, and that sword flip around is actually her stance change. That is the visual cue.
Oh.
Yeah, and if you don't do that, and it doesn't count for certain moves or mark application of her half of the Lotus. So, like, if you're just like, "I'm gonna press buttons and call it cool," not you he is not a button masher, as we like to say. In the world of fighting games, he is not a command character.
So if I have to come off auto, I should just hand it to you and not even try myself.
You
Got it.
can try.
No,
You
I
can
button
totally.
mash. I am the queen of I don't know what I'm doing, but it's working. 'Cause I'm overpowered.
Mhm.
Um, it pays to have a bestie who understands protocols, kids. Because I don't. Question, if you had to from again, this is with the total understanding that you've had him for 24 hours and have just been fucking around with him, learning him, and you don't know him that well yet, but in terms of initial impressions, how would you compare him to playing as Android?
I find Android far simpler,
Mhm.
and very direct. Android offers the advantage of almost invincible AoE because
Mhm.
of the fact that he's lifted off the field and very few wanderers can hurt you in that shape or form. I find that you control the field much better with him, and that
Mhm.
literally the only part where you have to stay alive is when you don't art an oath.
Mhm.
And then Netherlord is very much, I mean, he's fucking fun, don't get me wrong. Like, it's real cool when you walk in, he's like, "Look, I tore a rift in the whole thing." And the fact that you have to press buttons during his art and oath is kind of fun.
That scared I was like, "No, don't do this. I have auto for a reason. What do you mean I have to do QTEs? What is this, Resident Evil?"
It's
Like,
okay. I think
it's very
it's still look
frightening.
pretty.
It's very pretty.
I would say from simplest to most difficult, we're looking right now at Android being the simplest, kernel in the middle, and then Netherlord being the most difficult. To be fair, the third myths add a lot of complexity from
Mhm.
remembering resource management, state changes, actives for all of them. Like, let's be real.
Yes,
And my favorite to
that's
play is still Sea God.
yes. How does kernel differ from Android and Netherlord? Because I mean, you're putting them in the middle, and as we just stated, the third myths are more complex. But in general, fighting wise, when you're using kernel versus Android versus Netherlord, what feels different about him?
I'll
Other than
link
his
it.
white pants. Hot.
Yeah, you put him in his white pants, make him look hot. I do have an Android guide. We'll link it so you can check it. We'll link it in the description, and also I'll drop a link here. But so the big things about, Colonel Caleb is he doesn't start with a resonance skill. Like, first of all,
Mhm.
he's like he's a bursty brute force bastard.
Mhm.
And yeah,
That's
that's
the
really his
chapter
thing.
title.
And that's probably what it's gonna be. He has, again, a state change like Android. All 3 of his companions have state changes. Um, and he has a very specific battle resource management element. And the fact is,
Mhm.
the pro con is when he doesn't start with a resonance skill, you have to accumulate firepower by using various things. But his resonance skill automatically breaks 2 protocore shields, meaning when you have a perfect match, it breaks 4.
Mm.
So you have to manage all of this resources because you have Zerom, you have firepower, you have a few other things. Then
Mhm.
you get your resonance skill. Then his resonance skill changes literally the field into something else, which is Battlefront. It changes your resonance skill into a different skill that has yet another resource that you have to manage, which is the focus spheres. Um,
Mhm.
and then you're checking like weakened state timing against the Battlefront timing against how many focus spheres timing. And it's just like, okay, shit. So there's a lot of visual cues on the screen with a
Mhm.
lot of like, what the fuck is going on? And on top of it, while his resonance skill is a big portion of the field, it can still miss. And because it doesn't reload in the standard 15 seconds that every other companion's resonance skill, of course, except on Breaker, if you miss it, you're kind of fucked. So you really gotta burst hard. Everyone generally follows the same rotation, right? Like,
Mhm.
you go in a battle, you resonate, you support skill, you use an active, or you use your basics. This is totally opposite. It's like reverse. So that's why I kind of put him in the middle.
But here's
Fair.
the thing. I wanted to ask you. After you did Claire you were doing your fights with Claire Obscure, and we were talking about the lantern boss, and you mentioned that you were listening because there was so much happening on the screen that you
You
were
just
listening
wanted to
for
bring up the hands.
the
Ugh,
hands.
fuck
But you
you.
mentioned audio cues, and I know that the battle there's call outs, there's battle
Here, hey,
dialogue.
buddy, go to your saved lines. No one's going to judge you for them right now. Just go to your saved lines.
Which ones?
Save voice lines. Go for Caleb.
I made a lot of new discoveries while I was out, baby. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, it's okay. It's
Okay,
fine.
favorite lines, battle
Okay,
voice.
go to battle voice. Now notice underneath battle voice. So pick a companion that you want.
Here you go, babe.
So notice how it has the line. You can use the line, but underneath it tells you what he is calling out. So it'll tell you like pause. Scroll up a little bit. Okay. So like time to show them what we've got. It's a notice that your charge is full. So these lines have specific associations, and it's for every guy. They have specific associations for what is happening on the field. So, like, it's
Mhm.
recovered, let's change our rhythm. If you start to hear him say that, that means the protocore shields are back. That's how I can do sea gods so quickly with Raph. He's
Yeah.
his voice call out. So each line is associated with something that's happening, whether an enemy has recovered or a resonance bar is full. Something has um happened with, like, you're about to take a critical hit or you need to dodge or something's coming towards you. So yeah, like, take cover, warning, guard. That means, like, oh, you're about to get fucking hit. As we were talking, so being a fighting game player, I play very heavily on audio of the buttons that are being pressed, but like what's happening in game. I don't only do visual cue because, as we talked about that Claire Obscure boss, there's so much happening on the screen. I don't know. And I couldn't actually read the movements to block or parry. And I'll admit there are times in lads, just because I'm playing on a phone, that sometimes I'll miss, or I'm tired at night or whatever. And so listening to the vocal cues that the guys have is extremely important. So it's funny when I'm on stream and I don't have the battle audio because it's misbalanced. It's harder for me. And like, yeah, the cute conversation that they have, like, Caleb, take care of yourself or don't get hurt. And he goes, is that an order? That lets you know he's at like about 50% health. The screens are just, there's a lot fucking going on. And recently they added an update where you can remove the battle UI. So if you just want it to be pretty, it can be. Like, I don't 90% of the time, I actually have no idea how much HP I have. 99% of the time, I have no fucking clue how much HP my companion has. I'm like, are
Oh,
we dead?
legit.
No, great. Because there's just so much. Like, I'm not even like, I will be shocked when the screen pops up and you're like, defeat. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean defeat? I had a minute left. Oh, he's exhausted. They're like Pokemon. No one dies, they get exhausted. So, um,
This is great because I swear to God, I've been sitting here going, "Oh, there's a purpose for all of this. I just thought it was some fun dialogue to keep the battle entertaining."
no, that's the grunting.
I mean, yes, that is the grunting. That's the torn clothes.
Yes. So,
Um,
but like, I don't have to worry about the HP because there's an audio cue about it. Yeah, like,
mhm.
the whole thing. It's only got half health. Do you want to that whole like the challenge? Do you want to make a bet or whatever it is? That
Yeah.
line. Yeah, that's he makes that call out when a boss is at half health. So that's how you know you're halfway through the fight.
Oh. See, this is why I have these battle talks because I learned so much about all this
Now,
stuff
now
that
you're
I didn't
my
know.
favorite still is Sylus. It's like take a shot every time he says it's time. But
Well, yeah, I
but
mean,
they
we
all
joke
have a
about
meaning. Like,
that.
like, open up Sylus really quick and like, look.
I mean, open up Silas is an entirely different thing, but okay.
Like, yeah, girl, hey, I'm trying to keep it battle focused. His birthday's coming up, but we'll save that for next week.
92%. One day,
You're
darling.
getting there.
Slowly but surely.
No, you
Oop,
got to go to
battle
battle
voice.
voice. Um, and then
Would you
you'll
like?
go to Relentless Conquer.
It's time to serve the main course.
Exactly. But he only
It's
says
time
that
for an
there for an
energy
energy
storm.
storm. You really don't want to make this easy for me is when he covers you for a crit. Yeah.
I always love, don't be shy when using me. I'm like, well,
Uh-huh.
if you
Yeah.
insist.
The where are you going? The enemy is too far away for you to hit. And it's important because Relentless Conqueror is a melee character. And generally,
Mm-hmm.
if you're using the matching weapons, it's guns. So you can get fully separated really far across the screen. And then like, either your attacks will not do damage, like his actives and stuff. That's how he notifies you to move back into the field.
Is Silent, hold on, is Relentless Conqueror the only melee?
Yes, as
In
far as I
terms
know,
of, yeah, because he doesn't use a weapon. Relentless Conqueror does not have a weapon
an
other than his
otherworldly
hand.
visitor. Yeah,
An otherworldly visitor. The rest of them, I was
have
going to
some
say, the
kind
rest
of,
of them,
yeah.
sword, bow and arrow,
They
fishy
all
tail,
have the opportunity to be distant, and that's why Relentless Conqueror not only has a mark and detonate ability, but he is the only one who has the aggro ability, where he can force enemies to attack him.
which have you seen the battle videos, the compilations of Silas's relentless conqueror prowling around the
I love
battlefield.
it. I fucking love it. There are times where I'm like, son, just walk in. And oftentimes, actually, that prowl is actually him pulling aggro. So walk away from him.
Fights fashionably. Like, excuse me, I have to vogue in the middle of battle. Please hold. And I'm like,
This is the funny thing I love. So when he gets injured,
hmm.
when he gets heavily injured, Sun has got like, he's got a kink that's more like it.
Yeah.
But like when he's like hella weakened, it's it's just a scratch, or I like that difficult fight. You're like, okay.
Baby. Well, I mean,
Also,
the man is
there are some specific call outs for individual fights. So like Mr. Beanie, some other ones too. So if you like look through the lines.
yeah, right there. It's just a drizzle.
Yes.
Where did this confidence come from?
So yeah, I find it funny that when he gets hurt, he's like, oh damn, do it again. But like the more horny he gets, the more injured he is, people. Just FYI on Sylus.
In the midst of your simping, gentle
Yes.
reminder.
He's close to exhaustion. Meaning you're gonna lose the fight.
It's like
So
a couple
yes,
of dirty
it's
jokes. I
fun.
can make
They're
them, I'm
not
gonna
just
waste
there
time.
for witty banter. They actually serve a purpose.
The more you know. Nikki T cares.
Nikki T cares. The hornier he gets, the closer to death he is.
Make him sound like a sub that you'd have to force to say a safe word. Like, sir, say the safe word. No. Say the goddamn safe word. No. I like it when it hurts, and I don't, so I'm gonna safe word the fuck out.
Exactly.
The hornier he gets, the deader he is. What?
Yeah.
He's got a danger kink. What do you want? But that's so funny. Yeah, no, I was just like, oh, that's just battle dialogue.
Yeah.
But I wanted to, when you said that you did the lantern boss with audio cues, I'm like, okay, wait, are there audio cues in these types of games, or this
Yes.
solely for like Souls games and games that involve a dodge and a counter and a parry and a gradient attack and a gradient parry and a gradient everything?
I mean, we don't have...
yeah. No, that's just really cool, and I didn't catch that. But again, I've lived on the auto side of the world, so I'm certain there's a lot of battle girlies listening to this going, Mama, I love you, but are you fucking kidding me? And you'd be right, children. You'd be right. I'm cute. I focus on other things, as you just heard, for an
It's
exceedingly
okay.
amount
Now
of
you
time.
can watch battles with the battle UI turned off, honey.
I can, but I also like to keep it on because I like to pretend.
It's
Even
okay.
if the auto is horrible, I like to pretend.
You
And sometimes
do
I
it.
actually come off of it. Usually when when the auto managed to do a perfect dodge, and I'm like 5 seconds, because I remember that because that's what you taught me. And I do learn and listen. But yeah, in general, no. I just like to pretend sometimes, so I leave the buttons there. But this is so cool. I did not know that. I just thought it was fun dialogue, essentially, that they
Look, indulgent. Look, she bites him.
She does. And that's another thematic connection, the biting that actually
Yeah, okay. Cool. Good job. Good job.
she bites his face. Oh my god.
You just want to bite his pillowy man bosom.
I mean, I'll take a bite out of that apple any day. Apple juice.
Great. On that note, I don't want to think of what his apple juice is. What do you squeeze? You know what? We're good. I hope everyone...
Oh no, now we're getting some fun. Let's go.
No.
Squeeze your apples, dear. Squeeze your apples.
Yeah.
An apple away keeps the doctor away.
My poor Zayne. I don't want to keep doctor away. Well, an apple a day hopefully makes the Netherlord come your way.
Nicely done.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody, with your
like
Netherlord. May your nethers enjoy.
There's some joy. Bye, all. Thanks for listening to my mythological ramble and Google spiral. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Bye.